Good afternoon, everybody. Excited about being home. I think that our players have had 2-3 weeks of really, really good practice. I thought we played our hearts out in both games in the Bay, and fortunately came up short in both games, but really like the improvement of our team. I think our underclassmen are really understanding what it takes at the Pac-12 level, and I think that we're seeing a much higher quality of play from them, and I think that our upperclassmen are continuing to really bring this team along. So we're looking forward to being home finally and playing against two very good teams from the state of Oregon.
Yeah, and with a tough spell, some close losses, but you
Yep.
mentioned improvement. What's
Yeah.
the attitude and vibe with your team
Yeah, the
right now?
attitude's great. I can't say enough about how this team just comes every day to go to work. They understand that, we've been in so many close games that could have gone either way. We've made some mistakes, down the stretch that were costly. Sometimes we didn't make mistakes. Sometimes shots didn't fall, and that's part of basketball. But they understand if we keep working, eventually things will go our way. And so I really, I'm appreciative of the fact of how hard our kids are working and the positive attitude that they bring.
Yeah, and you started Maria Kosterkova at center for the first
Yep.
time this
Uh-huh.
weekend. What were the factors that led to that decision?
We pretty much were looking at changing up some things in practice and evaluating in practice both at the perimeter and post position. Who was giving us the better productivity that we needed, and she won that out and during the week. And I thought for the most part she did a good job starting. And sometimes it's hard for kids that haven't started in a while, but I thought she was very good at that position and showed some really improved play.
And Alexis Sweetlid, Penelope Pavlopoulou, and Mariah Cooks, they all had some nice ball games this weekend.
Yeah.
Would you foresee an increased role for them this weekend against
Yeah,
two
yeah,
big teams?
yeah. I'm glad you bring it up. I thought that all three of those guys really stepped up and are way more consistent on both ends of the floor. Way less mistakes are going on, that sometimes are costly. And, that's part of the excitement about this group is that they come every day. They're hungry to improve. And you guys we're all seeing the improvements. So, if they continue to produce like they are in practice and in games, they'll certainly get the minutes.
And looking towards this weekend, taking that next step to closing out these tight ball games, do you think this is a good setting to do so coming back to Pullman after a big game trip?
It's always great to be at home in Beasley. We can't say enough about the Zoo crew and all of our fans that come out to the games and stuff. So it makes it extra special that we're playing extra hard for them because they're right there with us. And, looking forward to good crowds coming out and helping us push us over the top.
And for Oregon, Jillian Allen, she's a double-double threat each night out and really keyed that 4 or 5 stretch that they're on. What's the key to slowing them down and her down?
Yeah, first of all, Oregon's improved a lot. They have a lot of new faces in their program. They went through coaching change 2 years ago, and they seem to be really settling into their identity on both ends of the floor. But the key there is to try to limit her touches as best that you can. Certainly, they isolate her a lot off pick and roll and a lot of the other sets that they've run to get her one-on-one inside. She's a phenomenal athlete. She leads the country in rebounding, and she's great about getting up off the floor. She's very explosive. So limiting her touches is a big key for us.
And you mentioned coaching changes too. The job that Scott Ruick has done at Oregon State with that situation.
Yeah.
Is there anything that a small college town program like the one that you coach and your team can take from them and hopefully and maybe trying to correlate some of their successes they had in becoming a top
Yeah,
team?
Scott is, he's an outstanding person. And, I'm really glad that he's in the Pac-12 because I really didn't know him until he came into the league, a few years ago. I think that one of the things that they have done really well is they know what they're about on offense and defense. They don't go outside themselves very much. And I think their players are really confident and consistent about running their system to a very high level. And obviously, in the past couple of years, they've had tremendous success. I mean, you don't go to Notre Dame and come out of there like I think it was a one-possession loss without knowing how good you really are as a program. But Scott's done a great job, and not only coaching and putting his staff together, but I think selling his program to his players and his fans in Corvallis. I mean, just like the other night, you watch the game of the week on ESPN, and there's tons of fans in the stands. So hats off to him.
And that game of the week, they won it pretty convincingly. Took control of first place in the conference. How do you foresee your team matching up with them? What strengths do you have?
Yeah, it was a tight ball game in the first half, and I think it was a 1 point or one possession coming at halftime, and Weisner came right out and hit a three, and it just seemed like the floodgates opened up on him on that. They're a team that can play you to a close score, or it can be up in the 80s. It's unusual to see a team that can play that way and all. But I think obviously for us we just we have to get through Oregon first and take care of business there because they're a much improved team. They're a very good team. They're well coached, a lot of talent on that. And then when we get to Oregon State, it's going to be being able to handle their size inside. I mean, Hamlin is 6'6", but she's probably 6'9" with her arm length, and as much as she affects shots, she was Defensive Player of the Year last year in the Pac-12 because she single-handedly can change the game with her defensive presence. And I think obviously getting out on their guards, they have a lot of firepower on their perimeter as well as in their front line. I think their front line overall, their forwards have improved more than any forwards in the league and stuff. So they'll be a great challenge for us, no doubt.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.